Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're be checking out a video titled Australian Special Forces versus US Special Forces. My experience working with the Aussies. I rarely check out videos of people talking about Australia. I mostly check out videos in terms of Australia itself, like the culture and so on and so forth. But I mean, there's no way to really know about a place if you don't listen about the experiences other people have had in regards to this place. So I'd be checking out this video right here, and it's coming from Valhalla VFT YouTube channel. So you guys want to check out his YouTube channel. He's obviously military. A link will be in the description so you guys can go over there and show some love to him, and also subscribe to his channel and watch some of his videos because military. So yeah, if you check out this video, you might as well check out the original as well, and yeah, their channel also. But yeah, without further ado, man, let's check out this video. I'm really excited to hear his perspective in regards to Australian military, because I've never seen the Australian military in action before, obviously, and I've never known that Australian military actually got involved in a lot of things that America was involved in. I never knew that. But the more you know, the more you know. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be trying to, absorb some information through this guy here in a YouTube video. So thank you guys for watching. Please do like and subscribe. If you have any recommendations, leave those in the comment section down below, or preferably click that link in the pinned comment section where you can recommend videos related to Australia or New Zealand, and I'll check them out as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Without further ado, let's check it out.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to talk about my experience working with Australian Special Forces, and more specifically their 2 Commando and SAS units, okay, which I worked with pretty extensively. I know, surprisingly, a lot of people from Australia tune into the channel and notice some things like my 2 CDO patch and Australian flags all over my plaques. Okay, in first group, we do a lot of partner training with Australia. Some big events every year, one called Talisman Saber and some things like that. And I just want to talk to you guys about how, or what I think about their Special Forces units. Now, if you've watched my previous video on where I rank the best and worst foreign special operations units, you'll already know that I ranked Australians at the very top of who I like to work with the most. Okay, so let's get that out of the way up front. Obviously, I'm very partial to the Aussies and working with them for a bunch of different reasons. Skill, enjoyment, just culture, overall, that type of stuff. So what I want to do first is sort of talk about the partnership, or us being allied with Australia, and why it's so important strategically. Okay, a lot of people might not realize this. Australia is definitely our #1 strategic ally by far. Why? Well,
Really?
location, proximity to China, obviously shared culture, shared values, all sorts of different things. People think Britain or France or Europe. Not only that, but Australia was the country that didn't abandon us in Iraq and the global war on terror. Whether you approve of that war or not, Australia left in 2021 just like we did. They were there for the long haul with us, and because of that, just like our special operators are so good in combat because of all the combat experience, Australian operators actually have a lot of combat experience as well, unlike most of the other foreign units, okay? So again, who do I primarily work with? Australian 2 Commando for the most part, and some SAS stuff. So what I want to do is roll, my ODA actually had a...
First of all, I ain't even, dude, like, I gotta learn a map for once in my life. Okay, Australia. I know Australia's out there, right? But I never thought to myself that Australia was close to China, which would make obviously a lot of sense. What? Can I be real with you? This is such an embarrassing video. I don't know what the shape of China looks like on a map. I don't. I know what Australia looks like. I don't know what China looks like. Australia to China? Let me... Oh, damn. Y'all are really, really close. Ah, that is actually pretty close. I had no idea. Damn. Yo, that's crazy. That's actually really, really, really crazy. Wow. Wow.
A big marketing video done that Special Operations Command used from our trip in Australia. So I'm gonna roll the clip of that, and you can see this is my ODA. I'm in some of these clips and our Australian partners. So let's check it out.
Special Operations is an overarching umbrella. You've got Navy SEALs, you got the SOCOM umbrella, AFSOC, MARSOC, all these different units. But truly, there is only one Special Forces. That's the U.S. Army Green Berets. I've had a very, very fortunate and privileged career. And every time the ramp goes down, every time I get on the helicopter, being able to jump out of the aircraft, this is not a job to me, it's a dream. And I never worked.
All right, so you can see we did a lot of air type stuff, okay?
Yes.
Fast roping, halo, military free fall, that type of stuff. That was a big part of it, of the exercise. And I'll walk you through what Talisman Saber can kind of look like and how those training exercises together actually look. But let's talk about what the Aussies are the best at, or really, really good at, and from working together with them. Number one, by far, and I think they take the most pride in it, and they were extremely skilled at it when we worked together, better than us, is fast roping. Okay, so fast roping is
Really?
when you're taking troops,
Yeah, with the rope.
sending them out of a helicopter down a rope. Okay, it's actually the most dangerous thing we do in the military. Okay, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, a lot of ways to get hurt, a lot of ways you can die. But these guys are very, very good at it. You know, they even fast rope dogs out with them and all kinds of stuff. So highly impressed when we were doing fast rope training together.
Damn.
Right. Next one they were very good at was military free fall operations. Okay, so my ODA that was there was a Halo military free fall ODA, and so we did a lot of partnered jumps and things together. And they are equally as talented as an American Special Forces Halo ODA. For sure. All right. And then number three, tactics and combat prowess. So we did some pretty large.
The fact that he's saying that Australians are good at this really makes me wonder how intense you guys as military are, because, or is, whatever. Because I know for a fact, right? I'm not gonna say I'm like, okay, I'm not proud of what I'm going to say, but the United States has been, in my humble opinion, out of the strongest militaries in the world. We already know United States, China, Russia, NATO put together, excluding the United States, right? Even though NATO is primarily, really an American alliance, exclude the United States out of that. Just put all the European countries in there that are in NATO, all put together. They're pretty good, right? As well, right? But when you really think about militaries that are really active, NATO is not active. The United States outside of NATO is often active, right? And you have Russia right now, who is obviously active. The Ukrainian military is active, right? And few others, obviously, that we probably don't know about because they're not in the news so often. But I know I'm not the oldest guy in the book, but I just never heard about the Australian military being active ever. So the fact that you guys go under the radar is freaking amazing, because military under the radar is probably one of the best things ever, because you're underestimated, right? It's a huge shock for me.
Large scale training hits on targets, raids, things like that. And they were very tactically proficient as well. So I said those were the two things that stood out to me the most, I was most impressed with. And a lot of times when we work with foreign units, American Special Forces, our skill and talent level is a mile higher than the people we work with. That's not the case with the Aussies. Okay, they are very skilled, very talented, and very good at their job, just like United States Special Forces units are. Okay, so what are some of the types of things we did? All right, well, so we did 2 big raids, okay, or hits. The first one we did for the training exercise was to tape down a shipping port. We were in the Northern Territories, and it was a huge shipping port. We used our ODA, plus I think 2 or 3 more ODAs, and their entire 2 commando unit to make the hit, which actually very interesting, because in the next one we actually took down an international airport. We don't get to, in America, we don't get to train like that. Like, we don't get to just fly Chinook helicopters into a city, land them in the middle of a street, and run out and do these big, crazy training exercises in the middle of, like, downtown Seattle. Which the Aussies are able to do because the military actually has domestic authority, so they're actually allowed to train and do stuff like that in civilian areas, which I think was really cool, and let us do some things we're not used to be able to do. The next big one, which is kind of the final Colex, we took down an international airport, a real international airport. Obviously, it was set up for our training mission, but they had like 200 role players there, and again, we used both units to take this down. As we came in, chaos, people screaming, running everywhere, mock terrorists within the airport, and all types of stuff like that. It was very, very cool mission to do, and again, not something we would be able to do in the United States. We'd be able to shut down.
Nah, Australia, bro. Australia is like really strange, dude, in a good damn way. Dude, what? A literal airport? Who signs off on that? Nah, dude, wow. By the way, like, how often do y'all, like, I don't get it. Like, most countries don't even, practice or get their military ready for war. Like, I don't get it. I'm so shocked, dog. Like, what?
Down an entire international airport to be able to do a training exercise. So very, very cool opportunities that we got to train with those guys there. Now, why is our relationship so important right now? And that is because of our common adversary and enemy that we both know is the biggest problem in the world, and that is China. Okay, Australia unfortunately has tied a ton of their economy to China and is trying to figure out how to backstep out of that, much like the United States is. Okay, so we have a very strategic or very important strategic partnership in dealing with the South China Sea and everything that's going on there. Okay, so that's why I think Australia is America's #1 most important strategic partner by far right now. Also, just to tie it up and finish the video out, this one will be a little bit shorter than usual, but I just want to talk about part of the reason why I ranked Australia so high in my video best foreign special forces units is how much I liked working with the Aussies. Okay, that doesn't even come close from any other foreign unit I worked with. The Aussies were by far the most fun to work with, the funniest dudes. This guy's culture out of control a little bit. We might have done a little bit of bar hopping and drinking with the Aussie boys, and I can say, as crazy as I thought U.S. Special Forces operators can be, those guys were 10 times as crazy. I would say borderline out of control, but maybe not out of control by Australian standpoint. I'm not sure. But even during the training exercises, all the dudes are super nice, super funny, great stories, and by far, my favorite unit to work with. And when I would do Talisman's favor, is probably my favorite training exercise that I would ever do. So shout out to all the Aussie fans and to all the American fans. I hope you guys found it interesting hearing about what the Aussies are really good at, and
it's freaking
the fact
amazing
that we
video,
work together so much on such a regular basis. I think people might be interested in learning that. So that's going to tie it up for this one, and you got some interesting content coming up around the corner.
Nah, dude, this was a very good video because I had no idea. There was a lot of things to take from this video. First of all, he dropped the bomb, dude. Australia is so close to China. I've never thought about that. I've never imagined that. I always thought that Australia was out there by itself, all the way over there, just chilling, right? That's what I always thought, right? But now to find out that Australia is actually so close to China, that's a huge shock for me. That's one, right? The fact that Australians are comparable to Americans in basic things as just jumping out of a helicopter. Well, I wouldn't say helicopter, but I mean it's a helicopter. Technically, I don't know. But the aircraft, you're in the air, boom, getting out, parachuting and everything, you're ready to go. They're comparable. The ropes and everything, they're comparable. Like, what? I don't know if Australia actually being active in military. He said that Australia was active up until 2021, which I think was when they, was it Donald Trump that did that? Pulled them out of, I'm not sure if it was him. I'm not sure, but I think it was, right? But man, the whole thing is just a huge surprise for me because like, I never thought of Australia as a military superpower or, lots of strength, military related. I never thought of that because it just doesn't, like Australia doesn't pop up in the big boy section when it's time for the military, and it has surprised me over and over again because when you guys told me that you were allies with the United States and British in World War II, I was like, what for real? Dude, it's so amazing how you guys stay under the radar, but it's so freaking like on the radar. That, if that makes any sense, it's pretty cool. I really appreciated this video because it did open up a lot for my brain. I did not know a lot of the things that he said about Australia in this video, so that was pretty amazing. Shout out to him. Link will be in the description so you guys can go support his channel. He's obviously in the military and he makes great military videos, so y'all can go check him out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.